Please welcome a good old Leonard!
So, I'm wearing a hat, not because I'm cool or I'm bald. I've actually had a brain operation, which is not a bad thing. There's actually a lot of positive things. People feel, you see, I can feel you all come down now. People are generally nice and they feel sorry for you. Not to the point that they want to sleep with me, but they're just potentially nice. I also get to sit on the seats on the tram, the yellow seats on the tram and the bus, and that's kind of good. I've also found that if you sort of drop into a conversation that you've got a brain tumour, people give you stuff for free. I had a sort of coffee the other day, I got a free donut. Rang up about my kids' swimming lessons and I got the discount there. I went to a massage parlour. They weren't actually willing to give me anything for free. They did say I could watch though. There's also some, obviously some negative things. We got on the tram on the way here and there was 2 pregnant ladies sitting in the yellow seats, and I sort of went up and said, "Excuse me, can I sit down?" And they go, "Well, we're pregnant." I said, "Mate, I've got a brain tumour. That beats babies." A little bit of rock paper scissors for special needs people. I didn't really get them both to stand up. I just got one of them to stand up. And then I sort of made myself settle down and sit, nice and comfortably, and this bloke with no legs gets on and sort of hovers up, and we both had to sort of stand up because obviously that trumps brain tumour. But it's also good. I get a carer, so AKA my wife. She sort of now gets paid to care for me. So that's really good. She sort of takes me to appointments. She gets me to take my medication on time. Gets me to take medication on time. I also did say I've got some other needs that I need taken care of, and she said she doesn't get paid enough to do that. She also said she's getting fucked by the government already, so there's no help there. So obviously going into hospital, you sort of need to, there's obviously a list of things you have to do. You have to go and buy new pajamas and new slippers because it's obviously a bit of a sort of fashion show on the ward. I also had to go home and make sure I deleted all my internet porn history, so that just in case things went bad, people wouldn't think bad of me. I've started a YouTube channel, so that's pretty good. Sort of a bit of inspiration for the people sort of maybe going through something similar to me. The only sort of impact I've got is a bit of numbness in my hand and I've lost a bit of dexterity. So I sort of got the video, and it's me sort of stacking coins and sort of, just because they're little and trying to stack them into piles and getting clothes pegs and putting them onto the sort of a cup. And I've called it Pegging with Paul. And there must be a really odd subculture in the brain tumour community, because I get all of these people offering to come and sort of help me sort of do the Pegging with Paul. So I am working with a specialist to try and sort of get the dexterity back and sort of lose the numbness. I'm not trying very hard though. Most blokes will sort of be sitting there going, that's actually quite good to have a numb hand. For those of you ladies are sort of wondering what that means, it's like if you go down and sort of a bit of fiddle with yourself, it feels like it's someone else. I'm not trying very hard with that one though. But she did actually tell me, she sort of said if you get your fingers like this, and you sort of, there's like a little nerve there, and you sort of hold it for about 30 seconds, your whole hand goes numb, and your wrist. If you have a quick look around now, every bloke in this bar is going, all the girls are sort of saying thank you for sharing that kind of information. And there are a couple of sort of going, God, he's doing it wrong, I have to show you how to do it later on. You might, obviously at my house, a bit of drama going on. We've also got some other drama. We've got a new boyfriend on the scene. Ooh. So it's sort of, it's kind of interesting. He treats her really nice, and so takes my daughter out and buys her flowers and buys her biscuits and takes her out for yogurt. They go out for dinner. And then they go and wash his car. So I'm not sure I haven't dated for a while, but when does that become a thing? You go and sort of wash someone's car? It'd be like me going on dates now and say, come around and watch me mow the lawn or paint a fence kind of thing. I sort of was out on a date a long time ago, sort of with my future wife, and we sort of cleaned the car out, and she opened the boot and she was a little bit surprised at all the dry blood and the handcuffs and the shovel. She didn't go home. She actually helped me out. She sort of did a bit of cleaning. She sort of said, listen, if you use some motor oil and vinegar, that shovel will come up, looking brand new. So I was sort of able to sort of reuse my tools and it sort of worked kind of nice. Anyway, I digress. Back to the boyfriend. So the first time I met him, and he comes in, he gives me a strong handshake. Says, nice to meet you, Mr. Leonard. And I looked him in the eye, and I brought him in for a bit of a bro hug. And I said, we don't talk to our penises in my house. And he looked me in the eye, and he said, okay. Because he knew that I knew that every bloke in here knows if they think they're going to get some action, they talk to their penis. Oh, who's going to get some action tonight? Who's going to get some action tonight? And our penis talks back to us. I'm going to get some action. I'm going to get some action. I'm just wondering, that's not actually an 18-year-old boy sort of thing. No, it's an 18-year-old, 28-year-old, 38-year-old. I'm 53. So, I have that conversation. Not that often anymore. Will they be having the conversation tonight? No, I've got a shake in the head there. She looks like she's angry when I've sort of pointed her out. She's, shaking a fist at me. So I don't know what that means. So I did used to be a bit of a lady killer back when I was a lot younger. I'm not talking about the bodies in the boots. I'm sort of just talking about being a sexy man. And it was, and so there was I remember being out at a nightclub once, and I was sort of chatting to this girl, and I thought, it's like a bit of a chance here. So she went to the bar, and I went into sort of the men's toilets and had a wee, and you get all these vending machines on the wall. They've got the condoms some ticklers, comb, mints, the toothbrush. And I'm there sort of trying to look all suave and really cool and sort of saying to all the other blokes having a wee, going, yeah, I'm going to put my $2 in and sort of I'm going to buy some condoms. And so I'm sort of there, trying to look cool. I've got all the nightclub sort of music and lights going on. I got my penis going, ooh, we're going to have some sex tonight. And so I sort of, put my $2 in. So imagine now if you do it, you'd be tapping your $2. But I sort of made my purchase and I put them in my pocket. And I sort of went back out to my lady friend. And she sort of whispers in my ear and says, do you want to come back to my place for some coffee? For those of you that are a bit younger, that's sort of old school talk. Well, the new school would be, you want to come back for Netflix and chill. I don't even like coffee, but I still went home with her. And so we're there and we're sort of getting into a bit of sexy time, and she's laying on the bed and she's sort of leaning back and she goes, have you got any protection? And I said, of course I've got some protection. I sort of reach into my pocket as I'm sort of, pull out the little box and I'm taking my shirt off and I throw the little box. I get my shirt off. She says, what the fuck am I going to do with a toothbrush?